Hey there, got a warehouse or are you thinking about a warehouse? Well, we are in the process of updating a warehouse to sell all of our eBay stuff in. And we thought we would spend some time telling you about how you can maximize that space. Welcome to the Prof Sales YouTube channel. I am Prof Sales.
And I'm Just Ask Kaaren normally.
Yeah, Google Hangouts is broken. So we don't have our names below, but there are real names we have, we promise.
And obviously, we are coming to you live from our couch, not the warehouse today.
I know. Kaaren said, where do you want to do the couch from? I said, how about the couch? She's like, I would love that.
You just said, where do I want to do the couch from?
No, I said, where do you want to do the show from? I meant show from. That was weird. Anyway, this channel is about reselling, being in business for yourself, selling on eBay, Amazon, e-commerce platforms, staying positive, and just having a great community to connect with here on the tube of you.
And it's Yoga Pant Friday, so we're glad you could make it.
Yoga Pant Friday. I will not be wearing yoga pants, much to the chagrin, I'm sure, of our viewers. Actually, I'm sure no one wants to see that. But we are glad you're here. There's a live show going on right now. So if you'd ever want to join us at 2 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Eastern Standard Time, we come on live. You can join us in the chat. There's a chat. And you can also leave a question or comment after the video post, and we will do our best to answer it. What else can they do, Kaaren?
Oh, like it, mateys. Oh, I wasn't ready. Sorry. I wasn't ready for the pirate.
Rookie. Anyway, welcome to, sorry.
You're leaving. You just got here. Where are you going?
See you guys later. All serious though. So today is a Friday. And we have our first warehouse sale tomorrow. As a lot of you know, we've started down this
crazy
journey path.
Adventure.
Yeah, what is it exactly we've started down? And it's just interesting that because we started out, 2 months ago, we were just talking about this today. If you said, hey, do you guys want to get a warehouse to expand out your eBay business, for instance, we would have said no. We just said no, right? We just mentioned that. But the reality is that things changed.
Yeah. Well, how did she word the question? It was like, well, what made you decide this? Was it
It's a good question.
Was it circumstance or timing, or was it like deliberate or on purpose? Was basically the question. And I said yes. It was kind of like the universe just sort of came together in a weird kind of confluence of events, right? So it wasn't really one thing. And yet it wasn't something that just happened. And it was at the same time something that had been in the works for quite some time.
So we've gotten this opportunity, as Kaaren was speaking to, about being able to get into a warehouse, a really good deal, and being able to expand out our eBay business, but some other things too, which is basically the topic of this video. We have a sale tomorrow. We're trying to sell some of the stuff that was in the warehouse to get it out of there, which will be a lot of fun. And if you're a member of our Carolina Resellers meetup group on Facebook, you can get information about that sale and so on. We're not going to share it here on YouTube because whatever, it's YouTube. Yes, I'm drinking tea from a Hannah Montana mug.
It's my cup.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
It's still just as good.
Whatever. But we thought we would share with you guys some feedback not feedback, but some info that we've not even info either. Still not the right word.
So it's a recap, summary, show and tell, share of the week and lessons learned, bumps and bruises that we've acquired along the way.
Yeah. I mean, because really we've been working on this space for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe. Roughly at least 2 full weeks and then a third week sort of. But we wanted to give you guys an overview of what we've learned. And we've definitely learned a lot of things already. And I know there will be more to learn. But we thought we would start out with some basics here. So the first thing that I would say to somebody who's considering getting a warehouse or an office space or so on, and this was something that I had to think about long and hard when this opportunity sort of presented itself, was you need to have a vision for what you want your business to be. Now, I say that, and I don't want you to walk away thinking you have to plan out every little detail and know exactly how it's all going to go, because you don't. Nobody does. And if you start from that mindset, you will drive yourself crazy. But I think you have to have some sort of vision for what you want to do in general. And we've talked about many times, having a good sized jean business and a good sized shoe business on eBay. The challenge was doing that here in our home was difficult. It was difficult for storage. It was difficult to taking photos. It was difficult to separate work and life. It was difficult for all those reasons. And there came a point where we just said, it doesn't make sense for us. I don't know when that point was, but that point happened.
Well, when the shoes moved into the kitchen, maybe that was it.
Yeah, the shoes moved in the kitchen and the table moved out and we no longer ate food there anymore. I know some of you are probably saying, oh, that's normal life here at our house, but I don't know that that's such a good thing.
Yeah, it's not like we can cook the shoes and eat them, right?
Shoe soup. No, I think that once the business starts taking over more and more of your house, it also probably is taking over more and more of your mindset. And it gets difficult to separate business and your life. They become better intertwined, which is great for some people. But I would say even if you're single, no kids, live alone, you still need to separate out your life from your business. It's not like you can just be 24/7 your business. I think that's a mistake. It will burn you out. I don't think you'll be as productive. And, you need to find some sort of balance in there, whatever that looks like.
Agreed. Balance.
Balance. There's a real word. Dan says, I really saved a ton of space by rethinking my inventory storage. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute, Dan. I'm glad you brought that up. That's kind of on this list.
Well, and it's not as far as vision goes, you don't have to plan out every inch of your space. But it is a good idea to start, with whatever it is. If it's a room in your house, or in our case, this L-shaped warehouse space, right? I get that for me, it's hard. Like when I look at a property, for example, just land, it's hard for me to imagine, well, the house is going to be built here and it's going to face this direction and there'll be a driveway that goes like this. That's hard for me to do. And it's not easy for a lot of people to sort of put those things into place. But I mean, do whatever you have to do to make it make sense. Draw it out on a piece of paper. Have little, I can remember when we moved into that first apartment, I made little cutouts of the furniture in the rooms, and we actually moved the furniture around the room. The furniture was sitting, you remember, because it didn't fit right. So we had to literally move it around.
I'm going to move our mic here for a second, guys, because I don't think our sound's picking up great. So sorry if that's a little bit noisy, but it was down a little bit lower. And I noticed when you were talking, it was only hitting like one bar. I just want to make sure people can hear us. So let us know if you can hear us okay.
So vision, check.
Check. And thank you, Red Neckerson, for the super chat. Always well appreciated. And the $1.77, I love it.
I wish you could come visit us tomorrow. We're going to have a big time.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And some other people might be coming, which would be cool. And speaking of planning, you guys know that we do like to plan. So I think you do need to plan your space somewhat. And I read this tip the other day that actually made a ton of sense. And I guess I was already doing it without even knowing that I was doing it. And it said one of the mistakes people make when they get a warehouse or an office, whatever, is they kind of look at like the big part of it first, instead of thinking about planning it from the inside out, like plan it from the smallest to the largest. And the reason you do that is because you're going to have a lot, like this is an eBay business. You're going to have a lot of small things. You're going to have a lot of small things you're selling, a lot of small things you're storing, you're packing, you're shipping. Well, where are they going to go? Where are they going to be when you're storing them or packing and shipping them and selling them? So you got to think about what they will fit or where they will fit. So I started thinking about this. All right, let's start thinking about it in terms of a unit. All right, jeans and shoes primarily. And now, what will those go on? Probably a shelf. Will they be in a bin? Maybe, or a container. The shoes will probably go on the Song Mix shoe racks, as we've already talked about.
Right.
And are 10 high and fit 50 of them. And there's a link to those down below if you guys want to check those out. The area, then you get a little bigger. You've got the fixture. Then the area. All right, well, where's the area that the inventory is going to go? All right, well, I have these blocks in the warehouse, like 3 kind of distinct blocks. And I thought this one will be, I measured it, and I said, this will be plenty of room to put the jeans and the shoes for now, and some room to grow. So that way, like, we started planning it from the smallest to the largest, instead of the largest, because if you went in and you said, well, we're just going to throw a bunch of shelves up here. You could do that, but then you throw all those shelves up and you realize, oh, I don't have room for my office furniture, or I don't have room for my photography setup or my shipping station. Now you got to move everything again. It's a big pain in the butt to do that.
And it's kind of funny because even before you read this article, we've been sort of, there's a lot of chat about your
It's a mug. People deal with it.
But even before, this article, we've sort of been designing it all around. We started with a pair of jeans and how we currently process that pair of jeans and what we do with it, how and when and how often and why we handle it, how we store it, how we pack it, how we ship it, how we photograph it. And that sort of molded how we're going to go forward. And we still don't even know. It's interesting. It's almost like you're flying by the seat of your pants on this, but we don't even know what it's going to look like ultimately, right? Because we don't know what we don't know. So, one of the variables for us is maybe humidity in the summer and how we stack those jeans or shoes or whatever, that might have an impact on that. So we actually have all of our planning. It's been interesting to me to hear you say this today, because our conversation started out with, well, how will we rack clothing, or how will we stack jeans, or how will we inventory anything for that matter? And it started with that one piece. So we've already started small,
right,
and built out from there. So,
and I know for a lot of you, you can do this sort of thing with your own space in your house, but I know for a lot of you, you may sell all different size items that require different levels of care or storage. And that's tricky. And that's another reason why we suggest, getting into niches, because if you can store one pair of jeans, you can store 1,000. I mean, it's no different. It's just finding the space to do it. So, but if you're doing a lot of different products, that's going to be a little bit tougher for you to figure out. You're probably going to have to use some sort of standardized bin system or box system or shelf systems to sort of figure that out. So a little tougher. Brooklyn asked, do you have a backup plan if the sale is not as successful as you expect? More sales or donate?
Backup, you mean, well, yeah, because it's got to go. And what do you mean it's going to be a great success? We price this stuff to sell it.
It's priced to sell.
We don't want to hold on
price to
it.
Move.
But yes, so we've already purged, like we were good about throwing things away probably that needed to go, and we've already have a plan for donate. Some of the higher end stuff, if it doesn't sell, I'd kind of be surprised if we hold on to too much of this after Saturday. But some of the higher end stuff, we will maybe flip or roll into the next sale, or we'll just donate it. Because remember, I said on, I think Monday or Wednesday.
It's not all going to sell. We know that.
Oh, sure it is. All the thingies out the door. But you're the one with the Hannah.
What's in that cup?
You're the one with the Hannah Montana cup.
This is a wholesome cup. This is back when Miley was still wholesome.
So yes. So remember I said that the space is the most valuable. It's not the stuff in it. So at some point we realize, it's going to have to go. So yes, we have a plan. If we don't sell it, we're going to either give it, toss it, donate it, whatever.
So Ninja asks, are you planning processing first and then your inventory location second? Hold on to that thought because it's coming up in the very next part.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you answer.
I'm holding.
Because the next point we had was to visualize the total space you have into smaller sections and then measure. Because we have this big, almost 1,500 square feet contiguous space. Like it's all connected. There's no
that word.
What? People, whatever, Google it. So there's a space that's all connected. There's no walls. Now it has some shape to it because of the way the inside's set up. But so what I did is I went and said, I'm going to break this up into a couple chunks, actually 3 chunks, 3 sections. And then from there, we were able to plan and say, all right, this chunk can be further split up. Like the middle section can actually be split up, which is about 650 square feet. It can be split up into the photo area, which is roughly 100 square feet, the office area, which will just be 2 desks, which will be roughly 50 square feet. And then the rest of it will be for, what's that, about 450, but will be for storage, will be for the inventory. So that's how we blocked it out. Like we cut it up into smaller chunks to make it manageable. Say, okay, what is the size of this space? What makes sort of sense here logically? And I think it'll work really well. Were you gonna say something?
No, I'm just looking.
Oh, okay. Let's see. And what's the next? Were you gonna add on to that? No.
Nope.
Okay. Another tip that we have for you guys, and one thing we found that's I think gonna really pay dividends is to keep some of the space flexible. And what I mean by that is that you may have one-offs like a warehouse sale.
Oh yeah.
You may have or special needs that come up sporadically, like processing a bulk order, pallets or something like that.
In or out, for that matter.
Yeah, and I know a lot of you out there, and I've run into it too, and I've seen pictures and videos of people's storage areas for their eBay business, and it's just a big conglomeration of crap. Like it's stuff all over the place. And there's no way that's organized for anybody. There's no way that's efficient. You're losing money. You're losing time every time you have to go in there and find something. And I know you think, oh, I got 2,000 items in here and I know where they all are. Nah, you don't. I mean, nobody can keep track of all that crap. So it'd be like me saying, oh, I can go put my hand on exactly a specific pair of jeans. No way. No way could I do that. I couldn't even tell you, like, oh, where's this 7 for All Mankind? What fixture is it on? Couldn't tell you. So I think having some sort of, flexible space within your space will allow you to do some different things, to take some risks from time to time. But if you've just, packed your space so full of stuff that you can't even move or walk through it, I question at that point whether it's even valuable to you, because now you're going to spend so much time and energy just trying to find the simplest thing, whether it's an inventory item or maybe you want to list something you haven't listed yet. I mean, definitely not an ideal setup in my opinion. I thought you were going to say something. You keep looking at me like you're going to say something.
I'm reading. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. What else we got here? Are you yours reading? Okay. Let's see.
I'm just tired.
She's tired. She's
so tired.
It's been a long week. It's been a great week, but it's been a long week for sure. Just a lot of work this week.
I just took a shower. Like, I think I'm doing good today.
Showered today.
I woke up and showered and brushed my teeth today, so I think I'm good.
So you guys are doing this next point right now.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. So, and it's what we pride ourselves on here in the community, right?
Right.
Talk to other resellers, right? Or other business people to understand their needs and see if you can bring them value as well, right? And also just pick their brain. Like, I think we've gotten some great ideas from people, just sort of presenting them with this, this idea that we have this space. Now what?
Right. Because we're actually going to have more space than we need for the moment. So it's like, well, what do you do with it? And I don't think and the answer in the eBay community, the reseller community sometimes is, well, go buy more stuff. I don't know that's always the best solution. First of all, that requires more capital. Second of all, it requires you to have more capacity to list said stuff. Third, it requires more time for you to carry those items. And I mean, like your carrying cost, you don't have the use of that capital for the time they sell. I mean, that could be the right solution in some cases, but we talked about the last show, finding other ways to monetize that space, maybe renting it out, maybe to someone else, leasing it out. Maybe another seller is able to use it for either their storage or their photos or what have you. I just think that if you have this, I mean, space, think about it this way, guys, space is at a premium. It's always at a premium, and people are willing to pay for it because they need it. And if you have space, you have some power to be able to use that to monetize in a way that will help your business, even if it's not exactly your core business. You know, we talked about, someone made the give example. So, well, you should have just one photographer who you trust be able to come in and use the photo setup to take photos. That's a great idea. I mean, if you have one person who's willing to come in there and use that space to take photos when you're not using it, for instance, you can work those things out. They can be worked out. Then you're utilizing that space. That space is earning you money rather than costing you money like space traditionally does. Because yeah, it's great to go fill it full of inventory, but man, it's even better if you can monetize it in the moment and utilize it. And as Kaaren said with the point, bring value to somebody else, like another reseller. Maybe it's somebody not even in reselling in the community, that you're able to bring some sort of value to them, something that ties in with maybe what you're already doing, or you can learn very easily, or isn't really that difficult to, you know, to implement into your business. I mean, I think that's just a smart way to use it.
Well, and knowing what you guys know about us, I mean, we would love to hear your input as well, because we've gotten some really interesting ideas. You know, I don't know about the basket in the bathroom for the toilet paper fund. That was
I like that one. That was great.
But knowing that if there's a way where we could give back, teach, make others better in the process.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
That would be a bonus. That would be the most fulfilling, I think.
Yeah, we could help people out. Like, I mean, we can make videos till the cows come home, but if we're standing there with somebody and they've got a specific question that we can answer, you know, we can't answer every question, obviously, because we don't know. But if it's a question we can answer and we can show them, or we can give them some hands-on instruction, that's so powerful. Like, and you don't want to do that. Like, you're not going to do that usually in your home. I mean, that doesn't make sense. But if you have a commercial space where you can meet people, or people could, you know, come in and learn or see a setup or understand something, you know, and see it from the ground up, that can be helpful to them too. And it also helps us because people will say things. Sometimes they ask things innocently as questions that end up being just like this biggest revelation. They didn't mean it that way. Just, we heard it and we're like, wow, we had not even remotely considered that. And now it made us better too, because you asked the question that we had not asked yet of ourselves. So it's a symbiotic relationship. How's your landlord feel about you subleasing the space? No issue. So,
and there's no feels in business, Adam. It's just business.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So, what's the next point here, Kaaren? Do you see it?
The part about up, 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 go vertical. Shelving, stack it, make a mezzanine. You were supposed to elaborate on those probably in order, not in a long list like that. So yeah, so we are going to use the existing shelves that we have, and actually in organizing the stuff that's already in the warehouse, both for the sale and future sales and how it's being stored right now. That made a world of difference. Like when you first walked into that space, there was stuff all over the place, and it was amazing what a day of rearranging did. Right? A little organization made a world of difference. Like we freed up space that was probably there all along, but it just wasn't being managed well. Right?
We freed up 250 square feet, like just within a few hours. It was crazy. So it moved quickly. Yeah. And going vertical, so many warehouses, especially that you go into, have high ceilings. You know, even if they don't have a second floor, they still have a ceiling that roughly is a second floor height. So you can definitely go vertical, and you could even build. I mean, obviously you can go vertical with stacks, but you can go vertical with your shelving. You could get, you know, we talked about, well, how high is too high? Well, you don't want to put like really super heavy things on top.
Well, and how heavy is too heavy? That's what we talked about too.
But we can get, you know, even a rolling set of steps. There's they make these like 2 and 3 sets of steps. There's sturdy. Like I had this thing one time when I would use it for painting sometimes, and it was like 3 steps, and it was a stool basically, but it was 3, you know, angled steps, and it had like this big solid framework around. It wasn't heavy, but man, that thing was great. Like, cause with that, you could easily get up. Like if you need to get up to a ceiling, you could get up to it, cause it elevates you almost 3 feet. So, you know, just little things like that, go vertical, make the space work the way you have it.
Right. And with, you know, toying with what sort of inventory system or stacking system we want to use for the jeans that we have, you know, we can't put more than, what did we say? 20 pair of jeans would be 40 pounds.
Yeah, Kaaren, like, she like, again, this is why you bounce things off people and see what they think. So I was thinking about, we have these shelves in the warehouse that are nice as shelves. They're 4 feet long. They're 18 inches deep. They're big metal with thick particle board shelves. And I thought, you know, I wonder if I could put 3 totes across those and 3 big, maybe the 18-gallon rubber, you know, like a Rubbermaid tote, and put 20 pair of jeans in each one, which, you know, would be 60 on a shelf. And I'm like, that's pretty good in 4 feet. If I could get 20 in each one of those. And Kaaren just very simply asked, she said, wouldn't that be kind of heavy? 20 pair of jeans in a tote would be like 40 some pounds, probably 40 to 45 pounds. And think about taking 40 to 45 pounds above your head. You got to bring it down and then find the pair of jeans and then put it back up. And I thought, oh, vey, like it's not going to work.
Well, and it's not like Hans and Franz are going to be working in the warehouse with us, right? You know, you might have someone that's not as physically capable of, you know, that's not going to be in our job description when we hire somebody necessarily. I mean, we want them,
right.
We want them to, yeah, we don't want somebody up on a ladder. So that evolved into, you know, we just watched this video on Amazon and how they, with their Amazon stores, it's not a store, it's like those,
their warehouse,
regional warehouse thingies. And how if you just were to walk in and look at it, it looks like chaos, because they put on the same shelf, you know, a cake mix with a, you know, Bluetooth speaker with a nail file and with a pair of glasses, right? And it looks like chaos, but they're just maximizing the use of our space. So that conversation about the jeans and, you know, stacking and having something that's 40, 50 pounds potentially up high. What if we put, you know, this kind of item down low, and then this one at level 2 and 3, and then this is how we would use the top. Like maybe the very tippy top is for overstock or supplies or boxes or whatever, you know, things that maybe we don't have to get to on a daily basis. So
yeah. And the bigger problem with having those like jeans up high in a big tote that would be heavy, you've got to bring it down somewhere and set it somewhere so you can open it and get the items out of it or put items in it. And that's not super convenient. Even if it was, as Selling Advisor said, even if it was only 28 pounds, if it was all women's jeans that were smaller. That's all
girly jeans.
Still, even 28 pounds when it's above your head, or even if it's up level with your head, and you got to bring it down, wrangle it. I mean, you got to think about these things when you're thinking about how you store things.
Well, and you're only going to fall off that ladder one time.
Then you're going to be like, not doing this anymore. Yeah.
So we want to avoid that from ever happening, whether it's one of us or somebody, like I said, that would work for us. We don't want to put someone in a position where they're going to potentially get hurt.
Right. Right. Okay. Some other things that we have learned from this process. You need to consider a few different things here and how they fit in with your plans. You need to consider the location of
location.
Right. Because the location makes sense in terms of how easy is it to get to. I know it sounds great on one hand to think, I'm going to go get this warehouse way out in the country and it's only going to cost me $200 a month. Until you make that 20-mile drive or 25-mile drive, until you get out there and realize the internet sucks.
Or there is no internet.
Right. Or there is no internet. Until you realize that, like, anytime you have to go somewhere from there or come from somewhere to there, it's going to be a 30, 45-minute drive. I mean, that time adds up. Like, what is all that time worth to get to and from that inventory? So you got to weigh that off, you know, the cost versus how close it is to you. And sometimes in a city like Charlotte, you know, in the city, in certain areas, it can be really expensive to rent space. Well, no question.
You remember another thing that came up in our conversation with our friend earlier today was, you know, she likes to work at night and is considering warehouse or a space herself. But she's like, you know, do you guys feel safe leaving there at night? Is it a relatively safe area? And we don't think we're going to be there at night very often. But it brings up a great question, especially if you're by yourself, right? You know, and that's something you can, I mean, go there at night and check it out. Is there adequate lighting? Is there a security camera? is there security on site, right?
You can even look in the neighborhood, reports to see, has there been a lot of crime in that area?
Oh,
I mean, things like that too. So
yeah, that's really easy to look up a crime stat. You just enter a zip code or an address, and you can get that from your local police department, usually online, very easily.
Dock access. Will you be loading or unloading heavy shipments, pallets, bulk, just even a lot of boxes? A dock is nice.
Yeah.
If you have that, because a truck can back right up to it. If you're selling big, bulky things, that are from time to time, like vehicles, like an ATV, it's nice because you can roll right off the dock or roll right in, with that item. So having a dock is something to consider. If you can get it, I would say have a dock for sure. Environmental is the humidity low if you're storing certain types of things like clothing, for instance. There's other things too that can get mold on them. Are there infestations you can see? Does the building seem to be kept up pretty well? And it's going to be a trade-off, guys. Like, if you're only going to put your stuff in a warehouse a half a mile away from your house, down the road in the best community, and it's brand new and it's got all the bells and whistles, you're going to pay a lot for that. So consider that. So you might have to step it down a couple notches and, make some sacrifices with what you get. And that's okay. Ultimately it's a space. You're not living there. You're working there.
Well, and also, your first lease or your first storage unit or your first space is not your forever space.
Good point.
What's it called? You trade up, right? As in life.
Right.
So you start one space in one place, and it doesn't mean that's where you're going to stay forever. So.
All right. So the next big point here is being willing to put in the sweat equity to make your space nice. Yeah. And I had a good example here I was thinking about when I wrote this one. I think of all those shows where they flip houses. Any guys ever watch those that come on? They're on a lot of channels. They've been on for many years now, where they buy a house for cheap, relatively cheap to the market. And they come in, they fix it up, and then they sell it and make a profit. Hopefully that's the idea. But in some cases, you got to hire contractors to do certain things you may not know to do, but you can do sweat equity and do the work yourself. And that way you're spending your time, but you're not spending your money. Are you willing to put the sweat equity into your warehouse, your space, to fix it up, to clean it up, to, put in a portable partition, to build out a photo studio, to install racks and shelves that'll work for you? I mean, those are all things that, like, you could pay somebody to do them, but if you can do them, you should do them, because it's going to be to your specification, unless it's something super technical and you just don't know how. That's fine. But most of those things, like putting in shelving and so on, is not that complicated. And you can do it yourself, and cleaning is not complicated. You can do it yourself.
Yeah, and no offense to people that pay other people to do that, but I have always been a scrub my own toilet kind of girl. So, I mean, I can't even imagine, like, anything that comes up now and things we've talked about modifying or doing differently. It's like, oh yeah, well, we could do that. Like when we were talking about building that canopy for the photo area to sort of block light the fluorescence from coming in and changing the lighting. I immediately went to, well, why don't we just build something? Why buy it when we can just do it ourselves? And then we ended up talking to Ben, our resident lighting expert, and he changed that. It's been so cool, because every conversation that we've had, and I love that we're all that open-minded and flexible, because there hasn't been one idea that we've had that has stayed the same. And
True.
And at the same token, nobody gets bent when a suggestion is made. Like, everybody is sort of a sponge to, everybody is making suggestions, and we know that it's coming from a place to want to make it better.
Right.
So we're all very open to, oh, that makes sense. Let's, how can we make that work? So that, to me, that's been really cool part of this process as well.
No one has a monopoly on good ideas. That's for sure. With clothing, are you going to have a washer and dryer? Sell online advisor ask. Nope.
We've got one here.
We've got one here if we had to, but
a really nice new one, because the old one broke.
Yeah. I mean, a washer and dryer would just be more trouble. I mean, we'd have to put in, we'd have to vent the dryer. You'd have to run in plumbing for the washer. I mean, it's just not worth it.
No, if we need to, yeah, we'll just do it here.
The last big tip we have for you guys on this is commit to a step-driven process. It's great to have the vision, and you need a vision, but ultimately it's going to be completed in steps. It's not like you're going to wave the wand, the magic wand, and everything's going to be all done. You're going to have to take step by step by step, and it's incremental, and it seems frustratingly slow at times, and it seems like it's going to just never get done. But that's all you can do is take it step by step. And sometimes, like you were just saying, you go in a direction and realize we need to step in a slightly different direction with this particular part of it. And don't get frustrated by the fact that it's not done, it's not ready, it's not set up, it's not implemented quick enough.
And celebrate your steps. Like every little, you know, I swept today, you know, I took out the trash today. Like that was
we filled up the dumpster today.
We didn't get yelled at by the dumpster Nazi today.
Oh, that's true. We didn't today, but tomorrow's a new day. Who knows? Hopefully they won't be there.
She was laying in wait for me. What are you talking about?
Dumpster Nazi. That was not a term I thought I would hear. So, but those are all just some of the things we've learned, guys, over the last 2 weeks. And, you know, we are definitely not experts. I don't even feel like we're experts on this first part. But we're still going to be learning this stuff, and we'll share with you guys what we've learned. I think, you know, a warehouse or a space may or may not work for you and what you're doing. But I do think having dedicated spaces to things and having a logical, efficient workflow, even if it is in your own home, your own space, will lead you to better results because you'll cut down on the time, you'll cut down on the frustration. It's not, you know, it's not even the big things that kill you. It's the, like last night I was telling Kaaren, I was listing some shoes on eBay. And for whatever reason now, every time I import or airdrop photos from my phone to my Mac and then list those photos on an eBay listing, they're rotated the wrong direction. All the photos I have to sit. And as any of you know, who've listed on eBay's laptop application, you have to go in and rotate a photo and then click save and wait for it to save, and then rotate a photo, then click save. It's just annoying. Like it just adds up the time. So I'm like, man, I got to figure this out. I haven't figured it out yet. Like why it keeps doing that. If anybody knows, please let me know in the chat or in the comments. I'd love to hear. But it's really, really super annoying. But I want to share with you guys one more thing that's not exactly totally reseller related.
But it's for Saturday. We're going to use it on Saturday.
Yeah. So one of the issues we have is we have 4 different people who are going to be selling things in this sale tomorrow. And it gets a little tricky to figure out who sold what and what money it was for. So I joked with you guys about, you know, creating a spreadsheet and so on. But today, just by chance, I happened to stumble upon an application that was pretty cool that allows you to basically sell things at a yard sale or garage sale or whatever, and use your mobile device or your laptop or phone or whatever, like a POS system, a very crude POS system. But there's this application called Sale Cashier and Sale Cashier 2. There's actually 2 versions. I have the second one. And it allows you to go in and set up, let me see if I can get the lighting right here, basically a sale. And you can see we have some set up sellers there. It allows you to go in and create people. So I put Kaaren and me and Bob and Michael, who are not real people. And it even allows you to go in and create all sorts of things around the sale, like the name of the sale, how much starting cash you have. If there's a tax percentage, if you're charging tax, don't charge tax, guys, unless you're set up to do that. You can do hotkeys, which is pretty cool. Hotkeys are basically so that you can go in, and when something sells and say it's $1, it allows you to just hit that hotkey and say, oh, that sold for that, instead of you know, actually typing in the amount each time. So it's just a shortcut. Let me see if I can get this really quick to show you guys. So let's see. Let's put all 4. I'm going to start a sale. So it looks like this when you're doing the sales screen. And you can see over here, like you can select a seller. See if I can get that lighting just right. Let me hold it like that.
That's a little better.
Yeah. So you see, I've got different sellers over here. And like if I select a seller and I say that Bob here sold something for, we'll say even $5. You see it says $5 up there, and it creates a transaction, and it keeps track of it for Bob. And then we say, all right, the person paid, and it even has a calculator if you need to figure out the change, but let's just say they paid with a $5 bill. Now Bob has done a $5 sale, and let's say Kaaren did a $20 sale, of course, right? And the person paid, and it just keeps track of the people as you go, just like that. And then if you ever want to see, it kind of keeps a rolling tabulation of who sold what and how many items and how many transactions. Pretty cool. Doesn't allow you to put the specific items in here. It doesn't have that capability, but it does allow you to keep all your, because I started thinking about, I was like, I'm gonna have to keep change for 4 different people here, because one person comes up, and what about when somebody buys one thing from one person, another? Oh, it's gonna be so complicated to keep track of. But
the hot buttons are really cool.
Yeah, the hotkeys are great, because, and you can type in an amount too, but you see there's like the final screen. It shows, you know, kind of what everybody's doing, and then you can save it and, you know, just keep going with it. So pretty cool app if you guys ever want to run a yard sale or garage sale. I don't have an affiliation with the company. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that. I don't even think they offer an affiliate link. There's a free version and a paid upgrade version. The upgrade was like $4 or $5, but the free version is pretty cool too. The exact name of it, let me show you
what the little thingy looks like.
Yeah, I'll show you what it is. It's kind of hard to see it. So let me see if I can get the
yeah, Hank, you're right. The one that's going to be the most competitive is Ben. He's going to be like, that'll go in my pile. My pile. Yeah. He did a really good job though. He did price everything. It looks really good.
Oh wait, I typed in the wrong name. It's called, oh, it's Sale Cashier. I typed in the wrong name. Well, that's probably why I couldn't find it.
It would be good if we tell them the right app.
Well, you know, let me see if I can find it. And let's see if I can spell Sale Cashier right.
Sale Cashier Ninja.
That's what it looks like on the app screen. The one there on the bottom. Sale Cashier 2. There's a first version too, which looks very similar. So if you type that in the App Store, that's what'll come up. Really cool little app. Check it out if you guys. There's other ones too, but I like it a lot so far. It's been really kind of cool and just a quick, easy way to keep track of your money at a sale.
So I have a show and tell real
quick.
It's
show and tell.
So, and I took a picture, and I need Jason to put it on his Instagram. But we got a warehouse warming present this morning from a friend of ours, Sue. This is a money tree. It's our first warehouse warming gift, and I love it. I'm going to take care of it and love it and squeeze it and water it and take care of it and pet it and love it so that it will live and it will grow money.
Nice.
So there you go.
Nice.
I just love it. It was very, very thoughtful. We love it. Thank you again, Sue.
Yep. It was very cool to get that. It's like, and we're hoping it's going to grow like a $20 bill every day. And
I think that's what it said. It does.
Pull it off and say the $20, $20, $20. See, we're not even greedy. Not even a 50 or 100, just a 20. Well, that's fine. Yeah. So, lots of people in the chat today. Thank you guys for coming out. We hope you guys are enjoying the show, enjoying the content.
Yes. I think there have been some questions that we've missed. One, if you have a question about the spreadsheet, Jason's be all end all to the having your business on a spreadsheet, link below.
Yes.
Send him an email. Because it's a lot easier for him to explain how.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't even see was there a question about that?
It was up towards the beginning, and it was just you were going to.
Yeah, and there's actually a playlist on the channel about the spreadsheet, and there's 6 different videos there that help you understand how to use it. And if you want, just leave the comment right under the video that's applicable. If it's an inventory question, leave it under the inventory video. If it's a sale question, leave it in the sale video. And that way I can answer your question in public and everybody else can see, because someone else might have the same question. So
right, because I didn't want to let that go without.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't
ignore
see
the question. It's a lot easier to handle those one-on-one outside of here. And somebody also said something about why are Levi's jeans measurements sporadic. I really don't think they are. I think Levi's is one of the most consistent. If it's not matching up to the size on the tag, check to see if it's been altered. Maybe a hem has been taken in at the cuff or length or
and it could shrink some, but they usually don't. They're usually pre-shrunk and they're usually pretty good. So I don't really find Levi's to be too far off with a lot of their measurements. I mean, they tend to be pretty standard, but.
And when they are, it's usually because they've been altered. So.
Yeah. And check and make sure that you're measuring what you think you're measuring, because it is easy to have the jean laying sort of a weird way, or it's just a little off. And, you'll be like, oh, this should be a 30-inch waist, but it's 29 and a half. Why is that? Well, maybe it was just bunched up just a little bit. Anyway. Yeah, somebody asked about a sale to Brazil and a customer not getting it. Well, if you used global shipping, I would contact eBay. I mean, what does their tracking say? I mean, they handle that. If you didn't, then hopefully you had some sort of tracking to Brazil. Yeah, and it's an international sale. Those are always going to be tricky because you're dealing with different countries and different systems. But ultimately you should be able, I think, even if it's not a global shipping program item, you should be able to figure out whether or not it made it to Brazil and it made it to the customer. It's some way. It may take you a little bit of detective work, but if it made it to them, then that's a different story. You're covered. Usually, I'm sure it's the same on international shipments. It is local, although I don't know that 100%. You've got tracking showing that it was received. As a seller, you technically are covered.
Well, and I don't know. We only ship with GSP internationally, Wes, but Wes says that it's illegal to ship used goods to Brazil, so be careful. So we don't know about that, but there's some food for thought. A flock of cedar waxwings, Duncan. That's what you missed. Good morning.
A flock of cedar. I don't.
He knows. It's just to move on.
Yeah. Not global shipping, Jonathan said. Yeah. And that's the reason we tend to stay away from shipping it on our own. Because I kind of look at it like, well, yeah, the customer did have to pay more. eBay had to deal with it. But ultimately, it's going to be up to eBay to sort of figure out where that item went, since they were the last person to touch it, before it left the country, quote unquote. So who knows? Who knows who, right? And the seam source said it could have been confiscated by customs. That's absolutely possible. Always possible. But again, I think when those things happen, usually somewhere, some way, it's going to be noted. Although here in the United States, even I found, and our friend and I were just talking about this today, we shipped something to somebody back in December, and it showed it left here in Charlotte, but it apparently never did. And the person's never gotten it. And they've been really cool about it. I've offered to give them a refund 2 or 3 times now, but they just keep saying they want the item, but I don't have another one. And yes, I'm kind of getting the runaround on like a missing. It was a first class item, so it was not insured. And it wasn't like a super valuable item. It was like $12 or something like that. But I've reported as a missing package. And then I get the runaround. Like I'll contact them again. They'll say, you'll hear something in 72 hours. And I don't. I'll contact them again. They say, we're sorry. You should hear in 72 hours. I'm like, just tell me something. And like, I think at this point, it should just be, they don't have it. And it's frustrating because it's like, there's just no update. I'd rather you just say, we don't know where it is. We can't find it. Nobody's, we've looked once and nobody found it. All right, well, whatever. Let's just move on. But unfortunately, I just keep getting stuck in limbo. So it can happen.
Red Neckerson. In case you can't hear Red Neckerson, I refuse to ship international without GSP.
He did type in caps. I like that.
Well, it's, so.
Yeah, international shipping is another beast, for sure. And I don't know. Prof, how's the internet at the warehouse going? What antivirus are you using? I'm not going to tell you that, Duncan. Are you crazy?
And we'll look into that next week. It's still kind of wonky. Like if there's more than one person on it at one time, it gets a little bogged down. So we are going to revisit that and maybe bump it up a little bit, right?
I'd like to upgrade it to 1 gig up and down, which a lot of the fiber services here in Charlotte have that now. 1 gig, 1 up, down. You don't really get 1 gig up, 1 gig down. Let's be clear.
But it's better than what we're getting.
It's for sure better. And I've been amazed that the shows we've done at the warehouse have been as good as they've been. Because I don't feel like the internet there is super fast or super strong. And in terms of antivirus, we'll take all the normal precautions, firewalls and software and that good stuff. And
I think everybody's just being very gracious because it does get a little glitchy. Like we'll get like hung up, like keep going.
Yeah, it's true. A couple more questions here. Will the mailman go to your warehouse to pick up packages?
Yes.
Yeah, they will.
We have a post office 1.5 miles from where we are, and we actually have the main post office. So if we were ever in a pinch, I'm really excited about this. We have the late drop-off, the airport post office, not far from us in the opposite direction. So we have USPS access like nobody's business. But we're also talking about, scheduling. Something we can't do here is schedule pickups. And we were talking about this morning too. We kid you not, our mail has gotten here as early as
10:30 in the morning
and as late as 9 p.m. at night.
No exaggeration. And there's been multiple times where it has shown up. They've shown up to deliver or / pick up at like 5 or 6 p.m. Multiple times.
That's about the average. It happens in the evening.
Yeah, and then there's been a lot of other days where they show up around 12 or 1, sort of lunchtime-ish. It is all over the place. So thinking about scheduling a pickup, I don't want to leave our items outside. I don't like that plan. And so we'd have to stay here like all day long. We'd have to literally be here from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. to ensure until it got picked up, and then we could leave. But it'd be all over the place. I mean, it'd be nuts, so we're not going to do that here. But at the warehouse, I think we could do that.
Yes. And yes, Gene, wonky is a very technical term.
Someone mentioned earlier we could get a better commercial rate, a business rate at the Wonk houses.
At the
Wonk house.
So yeah.
The Wonk house.
So yeah. Whoever said it was, I think Aaron said it was warehouse weekend. It's Wonk house weekend.
Hashtag Wonk house.
Wonk house. Oh, it's a thing.
So,
but yes, we're gonna. It's already on a business thing already, but we're gonna look into getting that better and less wonky in the Wonk house.
If you're gonna be in the Wonk house, you might as well wonk it up. To the wonk.
Oh, Hank, you should be here with us right now.
Wonk like an Egyptian.
Silly girl.
I just went the Bengals there. That was weird.
Well, I see what you did there.
All right. So tomorrow, guys, we got a sale. Everything must go. Price to move. No, listen to me. But we do have a sale tomorrow. We're going to do our best to show you some live footage. I don't know how we're going to be able to do that. I don't know.
So we might just, what we could do? We could just do it on the Insta. And then maybe just do a recorded video because we're going to get there early and we'll probably stay there late. And then we have another friend or two now that are actually more than that.
Yeah,
but we've got lots of folks that are coming in from out of town.
People are coming in. It's just
to visit. So that's going to be fun too. There will be donuts.
There will be donuts. There will be blood. It's like the movie.
But yeah, we're going to do our best. So you guys you might see this like instant pop up that says, "Oh, Prof went live," because that's the best we can do.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday, though, and a great start to your weekend, which is just, a few hours away. So we want to thank you guys for hanging out with us today.
And thank you for all your kind words and support during this evolution of the Prof salesness from home to warehouse in 1 week. So
I thought for sure you're going to say from home to Wonk house.
Oh, Wonk house. There you go. This Wonk house is making me angry. We'll explain that to you another time.
All right, guys. So that's going to do it for today because that's all we can handle. I'm sure it's all you can handle too. But
this is the Money Tree. Just ask Kaaren.
And Prof Sales
saying good sales to you.